everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to apply for a temporary resident visa, TRV. A couple of people have asked that question, and today I want to show you how to apply for a TRV. So very quickly, this is very similar to my last video on how to extend your study permit. It's very similar. So what you want to do first is to go to the IRCC website. So IRCC login. Just like before, you would click on this. The first thing, sign into your IRCC secure account. So like I explained previously, we have two sign-in methods. We have the GC key and the sign-in partner through your bank. So again, watch my previous video on how to extend your study permit, and then that will help you. So I'm going to skip through this part. I'm going to sign into my account very quickly, and then I'm going to come back to the next page. Okay, so after you log into your account, this is the page you will see, right? So once you enter into this page, you have your everything, like your account here. Where you want to go to is to the first one. So you want to start an application, you go to this one, you look through everything, right? This doesn't apply to us, this doesn't apply to us, and then this doesn't. So you want to apply to come to Canada. That's where you click on. So once you click on that, you have two options. So the personal reference code, and then I don't have a personal reference code. So if you have a personal reference code, then you want to click here, but for the most part, this is where you want to click on. I don't have a personal reference code. And so you see three options here, right? So we're going to click on the visitor's visa, study, or this one, the first option, because we're applying for a temporary residence visa, not these two options. So we're going to click on this first option, and then we have a bunch of questions here. So it says find out if you're eligible to apply. Now let's find out. So what would you like to do in Canada? You like to study? For me, if it's work, you could choose work, right? There are different options here. Study is what I want to do. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? I plan to stay for more than 6 months temporarily. Then select the code on your passport. Mine is Nigeria, so I'm going to select, my code. And then what is the country of residence? If you are currently in Canada, you select Canada. I'm currently in Canada, so I'll select Canada. Right? If you're not in Canada, select whatever country you are in currently. And then it says, do you have a family member who is Canadian or a PR? I don't have. And then I'm going to select my date of birth, and I'm going to click on next. So when you click on next, it asks you this question. This is the next page that shows up. So it says, are you a lawful permanent resident of US? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not. So I click on no. And then it asks you, what's your current immigration status in Canada? I am a student currently. If you're not, whatever you are, you choose it. I'm a student. And then it says, what's your marital status? I'm never married and single. Whatever you have, you click it. And then, your province, where you're going to be staying or where you are currently. I'm in Manitoba, so I click it, then you click on next. And then you see the results that comes out, right? So now there are two options. Now remember, if you watched my previous video on how to extend your study permit, we clicked on the first option because we wanted to extend our study permit. We wanted to extend our stay, right? In this option, you're going to click on temporary resident visa. Like in this, to apply for TRV, you're going to click on this. Now, this is the visa, right? This is the study permit. This is the visa. This is what will help you to, in case you want to travel, it says you will need a TRV to return to Canada. In case you're traveling out of Canada, you need the TRV to return. If you're a student, you need a TRV to return. If you have a work permit, stuff like that. So basically, it says, read this part. It says, if you're working or studying in Canada, your temporary resident visa may expire at the same time as your work or study permit. Now, if you watch my previous videos, I've explained this. Your study permit and your TRV will expire at the same time, right? So, but you have to, it says, if your work or study permit is expiring soon, please renew your study or work permit first. Then once that's approved, you may apply for TRV, right? So you have to apply for this first if you're a student and you want to extend your stay before you come and do this. So if you've done this, so I'm guessing that whoever is watching this video is someone that has done this, that has extended their study permit, and then they want to extend their TRV as well. So if you want to extend your TRV, then you click on the second option. I hope this is understood. You have to first apply for your study permit, and it has been approved and extended before you come and apply for your TRV, because they will require you to submit your study permit in this section, right? So if you're someone that has approved your study permit, you have an approved study permit, right? Click on continue for the TRV option, and then we're going to ask you more questions. Now let's go. So now it says, which of the following best describes your situation? So for me, I have a study permit. That's mine. If you have a study permit for a specific institution or level or whatever, that will be your first option. If you have a work permit, so just read through this. For me, I have a study permit is what best describes me. And then click on next. It says, have you had a medical exam done? For me, it's a no. I haven't had in the last 12 months. No, I haven't. So I click on no. And then it asks you a bunch of other questions. So read all through this. It's basically asking if you're working as a healthcare worker, a laboratory worker, as a nurse, a medical assistant, those stuff like that. For me, I do not fit. If you fit in this category, you click on yes, because they require that you do a medical exam before you apply, right? For me, I don't fit into. I'm just a student, so I click on next, and then it says that, do you want to work? So basically, if you're not in one of those options, then do you want to work as a healthcare worker and blah blah blah. For me, I'm just a student as well, so I'm going to click on no. If for you it's a yes, you click on yes. So then it's asking, do you want to submit an application for a family member? For me, it's a no. And then it says, are you giving someone access to your application? No. For me, it's a no. If it's a yes for you, you do that. You press a yes. And then it says, have you given biometrics or fingerprints, blah blah blah, in the last 10 years? Yes. When I did this, when I was coming to Canada, I gave my biometrics and my fingerprints and photo and stuff like that. So for me, it's a yes. If you've been in Canada for more than 10 years and you haven't done a biometrics, then you click on no, then they will require that you do that. But for me, I have done that in the past 10 years. So I click on yes. And then it says there are fees. Of course, will you be paying, or are you exempt? I'm not exempt. I'm going to be paying my fees, right? Then it says, are you able to make a digital copy of your document with a scanner, camera? Yes. Then are you going to pay with a MasterCard, blah, 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 right? Yes. Now it's going to ask you to review your answers, right? So you review all the answers, make sure that everything is correct. You don't want to make any mistake. Go through it carefully and see what you chose before you click on continue. If you're sure that you're good and you want to continue, click on continue. And then it's going to take you through the steps that you need to go through. So read through the steps, what to do, what you need to upload, how to navigate your account, how many days you have before you submit your application or it expires and you have to apply again. The documents, how the documents should look like. It can be PDF, JPEG, or Microsoft Word document. The file size should not be bigger than 4 MB, right? And how you can scan your document and how to scan your documents, to make sure that you don't have large files. So this is something that you need to kind of go through, because for me, when I was doing my study permit, this gave me a bit of a problem because my documents were quite large, so I had to compress them into 4 MB, blah blah blah. So yeah, so go through all of this, and then by step 4, when you've gone through all the steps, by step 4, which is the final step, is where you pay your fees, and then you see the amount when you click on continue. So let's go to continue, and then it's going to show me the document I'm going to submit. So by the way, I haven't done my TRV yet. This is just me showing you how to do it. I haven't done mine yet. I haven't extended my TRV because I don't require to travel. I'm not traveling anytime soon, right? So just letting you know that I haven't done this, so I won't be able to give you detailed stuff about the TRV, but I think it's quite explanatory. Like it's like the study permit extension, right? So you just need to submit your documents that they require. So first of all, let's go through it together, right? So the first one is the application, this form. When you click on the form, it takes you to this point, right? We can't open it on the browser, so I'm going to open this on the PDF file. Now, this is the PDF file that you would fill out. So look at this. Make sure it's this one and not any other one. Make sure it's this form, the IMM 5257E just click on that place I clicked on. Just click on this place. It takes you straight to where the form is. You download the form. Click on here, download the form, right? You save it, and then you open it on your PDF file, and just it opens up here. So just like this, the study permit extension, very similar. You fill it out just like you fill that other one. I'm not going to go through all of this. It's very similar. So fill it out, quite self-explanatory. Fill it out very carefully. Go through it. It's going to ask you for your a bunch of things: your sex, your name, your date of birth, your current marital status, things that you obviously be able to fill out yourself, your passports, if you have a US PR card, your national identity document, if you have a driver's license in Canada, or if you have just your passport, you use that as your document, and then yeah, that's it. So I'm not going to go through all of this. It's very similar to the study permit extension form. Just kind of copy from that. It's going to ask you about education, about employment. Very, 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 very self-explanatory. And then click on yes and no where it's applicable through the form. And once you're done, or when you're done, you're going to put in your signature and then date it, and then you validate it. Validate it is you click on this place. It's going to help you to tell you what's in the form you haven't filled. If you made any mistake in the dates, it's gonna show red basically if you made a mistake, right? So go through this. Once you validate it and it says perfect, it's gonna give you like a barcode at the bottom here if it's perfect, and then you're gonna click on then you're gonna save it, right? And that's your form. That's your form ready to go right there. And then you come back to this, and then you upload that file once you're done, right? And then it's asking for your recent education transcript. Now click on here. This is always want to click on here, right? It's going to give you more options of what they mean. So it's going to explain to you everything. It says if you're applying for a PGWP, which is a work permit, you must provide your transcript. But I'm applying for a TRV, I'm just doing a study permit, right? So you look through it basically, right? Then your transcripts would have all of these things they said: the class you attended, the class you took, your final marks. You know how a transcript will look like. So I'm guessing it's the official transcripts they want here, because they said your transcript must be on your school official letterhead, or printed from the school website. Well, it doesn't have to be official, I guess, but it just have to have all of these things that they mentioned here. So take note of this. It must have your school logo. If you can print it out from your school website and still have the school logo, right? So you don't have to pay for official transcripts, I think. But I think it's always better once you are doing anything that has to do with your visa, just submit official transcripts. It's just easier, right? Just to avoid any errors or any mistake. Then the next thing is the proof of enrollment. So if you're still in school, you're going to have to you're going to have to submit your enrollment for the next semester. So that's something that you have to contact the school office, the school's registrars, like the registrar's office, basically. Contact them to send you the enrollment letter. You sometimes have to pay for that. And then basically just showing that you're enrolled in school, right? It's a proof of enrollment. And then you have to submit your study permit. So this is where I said you have to have applied for a study permit extension before you apply for the TRV, because they will ask you to attach your study permit, which is what you're asking for here. If you're someone that has work permit and you're extending you want to get TRV as a worker, you would attach your work permit. If you're a student and want to get TRV as a student, you attach your study permit. Now, this is what they're asking for here. Just attach the study permit basically, and then your passport. That's your international passport. With all of this, they're asking for the data page, right? And it said if you have markings and stamps, you want to submit that as well. That's here. How the stamp your visa and stuff like that. Your passport. You want to attach that as well. That's if you have it. And then your proof of means of financial support. This is just like the study permit extension, basically. As much proof of finances you can submit, you want to submit that. You want to submit your bank statement from the past 4 months, as you say here. Submit your employment letter if you're working. Submit your scholarship letters if you have scholarship as a student. If your school is funding you, like you said, proof of funding. here. If you have scholarship, submit that. If your supervisor is paying you, someone is paying you or funding you or sponsoring you, submit that. And if you have other things that are listed here, you want to submit that as well. If you have a proof of asset of business, basically everything that would help you show that you are financially capable, basically. This is what you want to look at. This doesn't apply to us because we're not applying for PR, right? So yeah, so once you're done with that, attach that. So make it into one big file, into one PDF file, and attach it. And remember, each of this file, you can only submit 4 MB in each of them. You can't go past 4 MB. So as much as you can, compress each file. And then the digital photo would be this one. You want to look at this one, right? Make sure it's within the size as listed here. Your head, the front view of your head must show the shoulder. All of those things, just follow this. Just go to any store that they take pictures of passport. They know this is the kind of passport that you need to submit for like immigration stuff. So this size is you can just take a picture and tell them, and this is what you want, right? So just do a passport and then you submit it. You don't even have to do a passport. If you have a passport from before, just because you need the soft copy, right? Just a picture that basically shows your face very well. Put that here, and then that would complete the supporting document section. All of these are very required. You can't skip any of them, right? Anyway, you say required, do not skip it. Make sure you attach it. And then optional documents means you can skip it. So this form is for if you're applying for TRV, and if you're outside of Canada, for example, if you traveled and you are outside of Canada, for example, you can apply for TRV outside of Canada. Then you need to have this extra form, fill it out, click on it, download it, fill it out, and then any other information you need. Maybe you want to explain yourself about something, you want to explain your finances, maybe someone is sponsoring you outside of where you are, stuff like that. Letter of explanations will go here, right? Extra documents, basically. This is where you want to put it in this client information. And then you go to the fees. So the fees is just $100 if you are not doing biometrics. But if you are doing biometrics, you would have to pay extra $85. And again, I explained, if you have done biometrics in the past 10 years, you don't have to do biometrics again. But if you haven't done one in the past 10 years, I mean in Canada, like when you're coming to Canada, then you have to do that, and then you have to pay extra. So once you've submitted all the documents, right, and you're sure everything is good, it's going to show you a part where you can click on submit, right? I don't have that because I didn't submit. I'm not going to go further past this section, right? But after you're done, right, for the most part, so like I said, I haven't done my application, so I can't tell you what it looks like because I haven't done it yet. So once you're done, right, you'll see your application as the ones you've submitted. So mine is still showing here as what I haven't submitted because I didn't go further, right? I didn't submit my application yet. So if you have submitted your application by now, this should not be here. It should go above, right? And then you just, wait a while. So from what people have said, or from what I've seen so far, is after you submitted your application, you get a like an email, or you get something in your account to confirm that you submitted your application. And after like some time, maybe like 3-4 days or a week, that's what I heard. Sometime for the most part, it doesn't take that long for them to send you a request for your passport. So they will tell you to send them your your international passport. You see like a request on your portal. It's going to say original passport request, and then once you click on that, you're going to see a form, right? So it's going to ask you to provide your passport with a copy of the letter they are sending to you, right? And in that letter, right, as you're seeing, there's going to be like a link there that's going to explain further what you need to do. So basically, it's going to if you click on that link, it's going to take you to a site where it's going to explain how to basically submit your passport to them, send your passport to them. Okay, so briefly, I'll explain what this site is saying. So what they are saying here is that you need to send through a mail service like Canada Post, right? So depending on which mail service you use, as they said here, the mailing service you choose will determine how fast it will take for the passport to be returned to you. And you can see it takes about 14 calendar days plus the mailing time for them to return it back to you, right? So basically, right, let's go to the next to the other. So basically you need two envelopes, right? You need two prepaid envelopes. When you go to Shoppers, Canada Post, or whatever mailing service you want to use, you ask for two prepaid envelopes. Now they said if you live in Ontario or Quebec, you need to purchase regional envelopes. Tell them you want the regional envelope if you live in Quebec or Ontario. But if you live in other provinces, you need to purchase a national envelope. So I guess they have their offices in Ontario and Quebec, right? And these envelope sizes would be one, letter size, and number two, a standard size envelope, as you are seeing here, right? So I will try to attach what a letter size envelope looks like and what the standard size looks like, right? So as you're seeing again, it says write down the tracking number for both envelopes, right? So the tracking number would help you to find out when they receive the passport and also when they're mailing the passport back to you. You basically track it. So now in the letter size envelope, right, you would put inside your passport, right, and also the letter they're sending to you, a copy of your passport request letter that I talked about. And also you would also put in the standard size envelope, which will serve as your return envelope. So in that standard size envelope, they would use it to return your passport back to you. So that will serve as a self-addressed envelope, meaning that in that return envelope, in the two parts, you know how they have to and from in an envelope. In the two parts, you would put your own address, meaning that they were sending it back to you. So in the from, you can leave it empty, they would put their own address. But in the letter size envelope that you're sending to them, in the two parts, you will put their address, right? And in the from part, you will put your own address, meaning that you're sending it from your address to them. But in the return envelope that is going to be inside of the letter size envelope that you would, of course, you would have closed, make sure that you put in the two parts, you put your own address so that they can send your passport back to you. I hope that makes sense. And then you can definitely track those two envelopes so you can know when they've received the envelope and when they're sending your passport back to you. I hope that makes sense. So basically they've put in the address that they want you to address it to, like they put in the the place you're sending it to. So in the letter size envelope, right, I said that you would write in the front part your own address, remember, and in the two parts their own address. So for them, this is the address they want you to put there, right, in the letter size envelope. You are sending it to this address. So if you are using a courier service, you would have the courier address there. If you're using Canada Post address, or if you're using Canada Post service, you put the Canada Post address there. Remember, this is only for the letter size envelope, right? For the standard size envelope or the return envelope, which would be inside of the letter size envelope, you would only put in the two parts your address, because they're sending it, that will send the passport back to you. I hope that makes sense. All right. So again, click on the link that they'll send to you in the letter, right? And then that would explain to you how to navigate the whole sending the passport to them and then how they will send it back to you. So mine is still showing here as what I haven't submitted because I didn't go further, right? I didn't submit my application yet. So if you have submitted your application by now, this should not be here. It should go above, right? And then you go from there. It's very self-explanatory. So they would basically guide you through the process. And then you get your TRV. So TRV is the stamp that you get on your passport that you can use to travel and show that you're eligible to travel and come back to Canada anytime you want, basically. Again, please do not travel with an expired visa. Do not travel with an expired visa because you might not be able to come back to Canada, right? Make sure you renew your study permit first before you apply for the temporary residence visa, and make sure you don't travel with an expired TRV or an almost expired TRV. But yeah, that's all I would say for this video. If you have more questions, please ask me. I hope this video has helped somebody that is wondering how to apply for TRV. And again, like I said, I haven't applied for mine, so I can't quite answer most questions that you might have about how to send the passport. I haven't done mine yet. So if, as much as you can, do your research, check some videos online, check Google as well, on how to send to them the passport. But it's very easy. Go to the link that is sent to you on the form, like I mentioned, on the letter I mentioned, and then it's going to explain everything very, very, very briefly, right? But yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope it helps somebody out there. Please like, please comment and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.